Es sākšu laikam no sākuma latviski, bet pēc tam mēs pāriesim uz angļu valodu. Tā būs Kristapam vieglāk. So, hello everyone. Today our guest is Kristaps Grinbergs. He's Qminder co-creator and Swift developer. I hope I pronounce it correctly. Yeah. So yeah, welcome.
Okay, I need the clicker. So we'll see if someone else will arrive. So then they can join us later. Hopefully. So, and if you have any questions, right away ask, and then we can discuss. Otherwise, maybe I'm like talking here like blah blah, and maybe it can be not so interesting or not on the point. So if you have any questions, don't wait till the end. Otherwise, you will forget. That's usually the case. Or in the end, you are too scared because today we have just juice, so we don't have any, I would say, social lubricant. Which kind of makes conversations flowing, because usually people are quite stiff down on this side of the world, basically. But let's see. So today I'm trying to explain what I learned running my own company, my own startup, last 7 years already. Yeah, it has been quite a long time. So the title is How Not to Die while running a startup, so quite controversial, but let's dig into right away. So what is a startup? So many people ask, many people don't know, maybe it's like cafeteria, maybe it's a shop, or who knows what. I tend to follow Steve's Blank definition, what is a startup. And if you don't know Steve Blank, then I can highly encourage his books. It's really good. One of the best is The Lean Startup. It's for everything really good, how to operate and all that stuff. But I really like his definition that startup is an organization formed to search for a repeatable and scalable business model. So right away we can say that startup is like cafeteria is not a startup. There is no like repeatable, scalable business model, or like a shop maybe. But here we can see that it's not only like IT companies, but of course for IT companies and towards technology, it's much easier, because when you put stuff out in the internet, then you can get users much faster than any other company. So has been the, I would say, the trend in the last 10 years in Latvia. I would say 20, 30, even more years in US. And before we go into deeper, so I want to explain a bit about myself, so you can have a bit more picture of who am I. So like Vera told, my name is Kristaps, and I'm from Valmiera actually originally. So actually in this year Vidzemes University, I started how to say to understand what is internet in the library. So I didn't have internet at home nor computer, so I was still at school, sneaking in, acting like a student basically, and creating some stupid websites basically. So that's how I started. So kind of roots are always here in this university, which is quite nice. No, I wasn't studying here, because I was studying in Riga, because I wanted to just go away and experience how life is outside under my parents' I would say wing. Yeah. So yeah, I studied in the University of Latvia. So and I studied computer science. So I have more than 15 years of experience in IT field in various roles, like starting with websites and web systems, applications. Now, like last, I would say 5-7 years, I have been professionally making applications for Apple platforms, not only iPhone, also like Apple Watch, TV, and Mac computers and so forth. But I have seen everything, like back and front end and so forth. So if you have questions about IT then I can answer, but I will not focus on that today. But last 7 years, I'm still involved in my company startup, Qminder. So it has been quite a rough ride, I would say. So definitely, if people ask like, hey, is it a good idea to start startup? I could say, it depends. This is the most boring answer. But if you don't have like, how to say, you don't want to sacrifice some stuff, then don't start it. Like it's really, really tough. Like all kinds of things happen. Money-wise, I know there are problems with families and all that stuff with your co-founders and employees and so forth. So we'll try to I'll try to explain these things down in this presentation later. And I have been quite active community member. I mean, here we can call this is a community today as well. So I speak in conferences. I really like open source. So I contribute to open source projects, and I'm one of the maintainers for multiple ones. And I participate in other kind of communities for environmental things and also animal freedom and these kind of maybe controversial things which I don't want to discuss today. Otherwise, we'll not go home. Yeah. And sadly, there is no animation because I was being told that I cannot use my computer. But here is a small picture about the company, what we're doing. I will not kind of sell today the company because you are not my clients. But what it is smart queue management system. So basically, most likely you have seen the paper tickets when you go to bank or doctor office, it doesn't matter. Instead of that, we're using people name. Here, right away, you can shout to me, people name, like, oh, no, like, I don't want to expose my name. It's super secret and stuff like that, but it's fine. Most of our customers are not here, and it's totally, we get it, and most of our customers actually are in US, where they don't want to be a number. Like, no one wants to be a number. No one wants to be greeted by number. Everyone has name, and it makes a huge difference. So it's changing in Europe. We have seen in UK especially, it's changing. But kind of here in Latvia, I would say it's good. But older Europe, like Germany, I don't think it can fly there. But we see also quite activity in Asia. Because as you know, Europe is kind of stagnating, but in Asia everything is booming. Like country, Vietnam, for instance, Thailand, Indonesia, like cities are growing, people are going to cities, and everyone has smartphones. So from here, it's kind of hard to understand. Once you go there, you'll see there are screens everywhere. People do everything in the internet. It's booming there, definitely. Something to look forward in the next 10 years, as Europe and also US is quite stagnating, and the customer base is still the same. Like, it's not growing. But anyway, so back to the product. So there is iPad. So once you arrive in physical location, so you enter your name, you select the service, and maybe some other questions. Then you will be serviced using computer. So let's say bank clerk will have computer, and then TV will show who is waiting when someone is being called, makes sound and all that. So that's like the front-facing part. But why clients are paying for this system is everything is in the back end, like all the data analytics. They do care about that, staff planning and all these things, which every detail about the customer is essential nowadays for client, because clients are fighting for their visitors, for their clients. It's so tough competition out there, especially in US. Like one client, for instance, lifetime value can be hundreds, like thousands of dollars. So losing one client, it's huge deal. Sometimes like, yeah, like, okay, go somewhere else. But no, they will do everything to just keep you as a client. So providing best customer service is one of the essential parts. So yeah, so if you go somewhere and you don't like the service, you will never go there. You will go somewhere else. So that's obvious as it is. And here are a couple of clients. Bolt is our client as well. So they use our system in driver onboarding. So it's kind of hidden for us. So we call just from the app, but all the drivers have to be onboarded. So they go to physical location, they check their driver's license, all that stuff like criminal records. So there's onboarding process that they use our system there. And there are many more, like AT&T, Verizon in US, LHV Bank, it's quite a big bank in Estonia, and Comcast and more. And funny fact, I didn't mention, my company is in Estonia. So last 7 years I have spent there. So now actually I moved back to Latvia partially. So we'll see what will happen in future. But it's always hard to start a presentation, so I want to start with a small story. So sadly, again, I don't have animation, so there should be that cat is moving basically, so I can show it afterwards. But this is my cat, and his name is Mr. Bite. So it's not that he's biting a lot, but now as he's bigger, then we can call him Kilobyte. Yeah, so I really like to play with him, and he try to get that he understands me what I want. So it's something like running a startup. So because you need to work with your colleagues, you need to work with clients, you need to work with other people, investors, and so forth. So you need to explain how things you basically how you want to do something. And definitely it's not a one-time thing when you explain to folks. You need to explain many times, not per se in the same way, in different words. But yeah, so I'm learning from my cat kind of these essential skills. And I was thinking when I started this presentation where I can start. Like I can start where I went to school or like that, but we don't have that much time today. So I kind of think that the kind of tipping point for me was I had chance to go to US work and travel program. So I had a decent job here in Latvia as developer. Like it was always good, like nothing bad. Then I thought, okay, this US work and travel, one of my friends went previous year, and I thought, okay, let's sign up and what can happen? So I got kind of accepted, and I went to US, and everything wasn't that great there, because first day when I arrived in New York, there was no phones. That was quite a while back. I think first iPhone was released that year, later that year. There was no internet, nothing, and I arrived in the place where they said I had just paper where I had to go, and I arrived, and they're like, "Who are you? Like, we didn't expect you like coming." They had literally strike me out in all the papers, like, "What the hell you're doing here? Like, I'm alone in New York. I don't have hotel, anything." Nor this job. They actually cancelled all my visa because of that. So, but thankfully they kind of managed to do it, and in next 2 days they got it working, and I got like a job in amusement park. But that was really nice experience. When you go to New York, I haven't been to US. My English that time was very poor. I mean, now it's not that great either, but still, and I was there and like, what should I do? But I think when you jump in these kind of hard situations, that makes huge difference. And I really like that part. Also running a company, I didn't know anything how to even establish company in the beginning. Like, where should I go? Like, nothing. So that was a tipping point. And then I came back from the work and travel US, where I learned a lot. I learned language. I was forced to speak every day. I was selling tickets in amusement park, so it was learning how you need to work with customers. So that has helped a lot, tremendously. And I came back to my, in quotes, regular job. I was working and all was good. Like paycheck was kind of okay. I mean, I wasn't suffering anything, but by time it kind of get really boring. Like you go to the work and then it's like, why do I want to like wake up? It's like, I don't want to wake up today. Like, let's sleep in. Like basically it's not your thing. And like I liked where I was working, always good, but it wasn't like fulfilling per se. And then I thought, okay, what can I change? Another thing, where can I learn these new skills? And there was some activity in Riga in Latvia. It was called Open Coffee. I think it was almost 10 years ago. Like no startups. Like no one even knew the name startup, what it is. Now everyone does. Even some grannies know. And then I kind of get to know what is Garage 48. How you heard about Garage 48? Actually, one has happened, I think, roughly 7 years ago in Purva Street in Valmiera. Maybe 2. But how you heard about that? No one? So basically, Garage is a hackathon. So a bunch of people arrive Friday evening, not in a bar, let's say here in university, and a bunch of people, I mean developers, marketers, designers, visionaries, like all kinds of people. Like it's joint thing. And then ideas are being presented, and then basically it's kind of like voting. The best ideas get working during the weekend. And every idea needs to have at least one developer, at least one designer. So basically, as proper company. And it's really, really, really good. I highly encourage. There's garage48.org. You can check. There are events in some are in Latvia, Estonia. Estonia it's not that far. And actually, to this event, I went to Tartu, Estonia, because that time Riga, Latvia, for IT specialists was like a small pond. There is nothing new to learn. You go to events and there you see same faces and it gets boring. And then I thought, okay, I mean, Estonia, different country, not that far. Okay, let's go. And it was really, really great. So I haven't programmed with so less sleep during that weekend, never ever basically. So it was really fun. A lot of Red Bull, all that stuff. So that's so you're forced to do something. And I actually went back to these events multiple times, because when you go home, you're like, okay, I need to learn something, right? I mean, I want to learn something. But then you open Netflix, Instagram, whatever, and then there's already 11 p.m. and you go to sleep. That's usually the case. I mean, let's face it, it's happens for me as well. I'm not like superhuman or anything. But then you go there, you are forced to do something. You are forced to learn. So I went back also. One time I had, okay, I want to learn something Android. Okay, I went there. I pretended that I know Android. I didn't know anything about Android, but you are forced to learn that. And the first Garage 48, when actually we established our company, I was pretending that I know how to build iOS applications. I kind of knew some stuff, but basically I didn't know anything. So I was telling, okay, I know iOS, but basically you don't need to tell what you don't know. You just need to tell what you want to know, because you can learn everything. So you need to go with that attitude everywhere. And yeah, so it was really nice event. Immediate feedback, because there are mentors there. There are people with different opinions. You can get into kind of bad situations with your teammates. That happens as well. You change teams. That happens in real life in the companies. So there is. we don't need to tell that everything is nice and fluffy. Usually it's not that great. So, but these problems make kind of stronger, and it's more interesting. At least that's what I think. So this is the first slide we started our company. So someone presented this slide, and I was thinking we changed the idea. So in the beginning we thought it will be queue management using phones, like you stand in a queue with your phone. Sounds like a good idea, right? But we understood that no one wants to install new applications. If I would say, hey, download one application, would you just now take out your phone? Most likely you have full phone. You don't want to expose your name, information. Like, no one wants to do that. So we understood later down the road. But anyways, that was the first slide our company was started. And these are some pictures how it looked like. So basically a bunch of geeks, I would say, coding together and figuring out stuff. So basically in this weekend you need to create a website, prototype, all that stuff. It sounds like unreal, right? But actually it's not that hard. Less sleep, 2 hours per night, and a lot of Red Bull, and it's good. So you definitely can learn a lot. And we managed to win that that event, so and we were really happy. And remember, at that time I didn't know anything, so I was really happy. And then this was me basically thinking that in 2 or 3 months I will buy a yacht and sail around the world and enjoy life. No work, retirement is good, all that stuff. Like you have seen these nice pictures from Instagram influencers, like so nice life, and they're just chilling and doing nothing. And this was kind of I imagined 3 months working. You have your company, I know, sell, big clients, and all that. So after 7 years, I don't have yacht. I know I don't have a car. So, but I have learned a lot. So yeah, I still don't have a yacht. So not even a rubber boat. So that was my thinking. So I know, dumb or what, but that was my thinking. And as we, all of our other co-founders in the company were quite new into all this startup stuff. We didn't know anything. We didn't know even how to create company, how to establish, how to like do any of that stuff. We need to learn something. In Latvia, Estonia, nothing was happening, but there in Finland, there was startup Sauna. Sadly, it's not working anymore, but it was a really good thing. So it's basically accelerator. So you get in, but it's not that you just go and you need to apply, you need to present, and they need to believe your idea and team, basically. So you get in. And you get access to the really good mentors, all that that good stuff. And as you know, Finland, especially 7 years ago, was really expensive country. Still is, but then it was, the difference was really huge. And obviously we didn't have money to live in Finland, because 1 month was like equivalent 1 year here, basically, or even more. So we lived in a basement, and it's really interesting story, because this basement, it's basement, that's why the picture is quite blurry as well. And it's we lived unofficially in basement in university. So basically here we're living in a basement, no one knows that we are living. And we got kicked out from the first basement. Actually, this is the second basement we moved in. And it was really pitch dark, really smelly, but 10 minutes and you get used to the smell, so that's fine. And they were building the subway, and they were like bombing underneath, so you sleep 20 minutes and poof, something. And every night there was guard coming and checking all these rooms. And these boxes, here it's a bit dark, but they were like, how to say, hiding us from the guard, because that's why we were kicked from the first basement. And one of our colleagues was really snoring a lot, so he went to sleep 4 in the morning because 3 something guard came to check all the rooms. Because for working these rooms here, it was available 24/7, but we couldn't like sleep there officially, kind of officially. So we spent there almost, what time was it? Like almost 2 months, yeah, 2 months basically, more than 2 months, like this condition. So we had big bags like these, how to say, where Stallone puts a corpse inside, you know, from these movies. We went to Estonia, put pasta inside, all that food, went back to Finland, and there was like kitchen here, so we prepared our food because it was really expensive. Now, if you go to Finland, it's expensive, but it's not that bad. But it was really nice and a lot of mentors, and then we learned one thing, that idea is the king. Yeah, really nice idea. You have, like everyone told, the idea is super cool, all that, but execution is King Kong. And this presentation was during the startup Sauna, and they are presenting RAM, which I know if I can explain here in university building, but anyways, this company, they I think died after 2 years or something. They didn't succeed. But the thing what they said, it's really, really good, because people now are like, oh, I have a really precious idea. Explain. No. Idea is like worthless. It's 0. Execution is 100%. Idea is not only 1%. No one cares about that idea. Like if you don't do anything towards that idea, someone else will do it, or just a world will spin around, continue to spin. Like no one cares about your idea, and when you go out, you try to do it. That's when you kind of validate the idea and do all that stuff. And of course, that I didn't know that either in the beginning. So, and this slide kind of resonated only later with me, not there, because we were kind of young people from Baltics, and we thought that we know everything. At least I thought that I know everything, and I was like, these guys don't know what they're talking about. But yeah, by time, kind of, I try to listen them and understand, validate something. Of course, don't believe what they are telling as well, because they tell a lot of stuff as well, because they don't know about your idea, they don't know about you, and they don't even care about you usually. So that's a hard reality. But things kind of got better, and this is our first customer picture from Brazil who believed in our product. We didn't have at that time payment system, nothing. He actually wanted to pay. So he really believed, and he even made like this poster in Brazil in Portuguese. And sadly, he's not using the system anymore, but he was trying to use, but we had so many bugs. It was crashing, it wasn't it was barely usable, all that bad stuff, but still he believed us. And that was like, when you get the first customer, that's like, I know, like Christmas present basically when you're a small kid. I know, we were so happy, like, yeah, it's like, it's going, yes. But that's only beginning. And there are a couple of war stories, I would say, like that. And first one is company Qminder, Qmatic. Have you seen this machine somewhere? Most likely you have, like in a bank somewhere. So this company reached us out like 1-2 months after we established the company. Hey, we saw your cool idea. I know, let's partner up, or like that. We were like, oh, sure. Yeah, crap, the biggest company. This is the biggest company in queue management systems in the world. Oh, yeah, nice. Then again, I was thinking about this yacht picture, right? Money, dollars, dollar bills. Oh, good. Let's do it. But reality is that I would say, I would advise, don't talk with these big guys. They don't fucking care about you. for them, you are like just if they can get some kind of value out, that's it. But what they did, they actually stole our idea. They made it even 3 times, and they never succeed with that idea because that was the idea in the first slide, which we removed. So I wish them good luck. All good. I mean, actually, we still talk with their CEO, and we're in kind of good terms in that regard because in Q management, there are not so many companies in the world. But anyways, my advice would be don't talk with big guys because they will not tell you what to work on. And you can, how to say, we were as well kind of blindsided because we thought, oh yeah, they know, they are in business 20 years. They're selling crappy hardware basically. They don't care about customers. Customer service is bad. They don't care about all those things. We care about those things, so it's about different business model. So it's good for them. We have different model, so it's much different. So that was because we spent a lot of time. We believed all this deal, all that stuff, but never panned out. And then second is similar kind of stuff, resellers. So resellers are folks who will kind of come to you. Hey, you have good system or whatever product. I will sell it to my clients. Again, they don't care about you. They care about money. If they can make money, then it's good. If they don't care what you're building on, they are over-promising to their clients. Not that they're promising something you don't want to build. We had like so many contacts, like I know from somewhere calling, like we are here in Baltic, someone calling from Latin America. I have big bank, 500 locations. We were like, again, dollar bills in our eyes. That was our thinking. But it never panned out, and we actually said no to all resellers, and we're doing everything in-house because we don't believe these folks. Because they are good resellers. I'm not bashing everyone, but usually these good resellers, they already have clients, they are working, everything's good. Like good reseller or good employee, for instance, well, is not just walking around and doing nothing. They are occupied already. That's the hard reality. So that's what we learned as a company as well. But to understand more about US and all that stuff, because we saw that more and more clients are coming from across the pond, basically. We had to go to US, and Seedcamp, which we are part of, which is the biggest accelerator fund in Europe. We had chance to go to US, visit companies like Google, Amazon, and so forth, and talk with investors. But then there are some stories as well. We got to go to one of the biggest investment fund, Andres and Horowitz. Maybe you have heard, investor in Facebook, behind Facebook and all, PayPal and all these big companies. And that time we were kind of quite stupid. We didn't know. And we were quite poor and also hungry. We cared what pizza was served there, not talking with these investors. Like, how stupid is that? Like, it's absurd. And I can honestly say it was absurd. But that was a harsh reality. And now, of course, we know that we need to prepare for all these meetings because you never know. You go to elevator and then there is Elon Musk. You're like, oh, you need to have pitch ready. Hey, I'm from Latvia. I'm doing this. Do you want to hear more? Like you always need to have some pitch, or someone is telling, hey, what's your name? What you're doing? You always need to have this like pitch ready. You never know when this situation will happen. Then it's like, oh, yeah, and he's out of the elevator, and you're like, I saw Elon Musk, and never happen again. Like you need to be really ready in this environment, especially in Silicon Valley. Like you can walk on the street and see important people there, and these people actually, you think like, okay, Elon Musk. I have one friend working in Tesla. She's telling that he's kind of crazy, but some other folks they're quite humane and they want to listen and so forth. So they are really generally interested into these topics. So always have ready this what you are, whatever it is. You don't need to make up things. Just tell, hey, I'm studying here, I'm learning that, I'm interested into these things. It's much better than and that's it. So that's what I learned as well. And next time we went after a couple of years, and then we were a bit more prepared. So these are my co-founders. Other folks are from Estonia, co-founders, and now actually company is 27 people, so it's more than us. And then we visited clients. We were more prepared. Next time, after 2 years, we had really decent meetings with the investors, with the advisors, and it was much better. But of course, that time, I mean, everything you learn, and that's life. That's why we're here. That's why we're studying. We're learning something. So yeah. And a couple of things I want to mention from the US trips. Is like I explained, is have pitch ready, have different kind of pitch. One, imagine you're in elevator, one that you have 3 minutes, one you have like 10 minutes, maybe a longer one. Like just have ready, because it's just much easier, especially if you have a company or you want to get some kind of value out. Then make contacts, because you never know when those contacts will come handy. Especially people tend to change workplaces, and maybe that contact you met was working in company A, but now works, I know, Tesla, for instance, or Facebook, Uber, and you need something from those companies. It has saved a lot my time as well to have these contacts. Make contacts, make introductions. It comes handy, and it's really hard to see the benefit right away. Usually it comes later, maybe even 5 years, 7, whatever. And to understand where is the money. US people really care about kind of money things. They kind of, there's small talk, yeah, weather is, today is quite bad weather, but blah, blah, blah. And after like second, third minute, okay, what are your clients? How you're making money? I know what's your client base, and you need to have these answers. Again, that time maybe we were like, yeah, doing great, blah blah. What's your market? Yeah, it's huge. Like, okay, they go to next one, bye, and maybe they don't see you never. So make preparation always when you want to get some kind of value out. And when working with clients, everything is kind of good, but what drives, at least for us, and I think it should be driver for most of the startups, is learning about customers. And I can recommend one short book which you can read in basically one day. It's called The Mom Test. The Mom Test. That's really good book how to ask good questions. Because imagine you have travel application. You go to your mom and tell, hey mom, you're going to the trip, right? This is my travel application. Your mom tells, oh, yeah, that's the best thing in the world, because she's your mother, right? Like, that's the best. I have never seen better one. And then you build 2 years, you're building this application, doing everything, and then after 2 years, you're asking your mother subscription fee, $20 per month, and then the mother, oh, no, sorry, I don't have. And then, so this book is about asking right questions, because everyone will tell, oh yeah, this is interesting. Like that's but how to ask these questions and how to validate ideas. Obviously, I'm not pro in that as well. I'm learning every day how to do it properly. But this book is one of the starting point. But definitely clients, potential clients, that's the source of the answers, what you need to be looking for when you are building something. Whatever it's startup, I know, whatever business it is, you will have clients. If a business doesn't have clients, then it's a hobby, basically. That's easy as it is. And what's next for the company and for the startup? So there are a couple of pillars I want to point out. So first one is have product. always need to innovate in the product, need to look what's next, what kind of features you can add, what can be interesting for clients, because clients, they care about product mostly. And if you don't provide a good good product, future things like Apple comes with the new stuff out, you need to support those ones. Always, it's iterative process. So good product, it's always like one of the pillars for a good startup, for good company. And next one is have really great team. So this is almost all team members. So to have team, it's challenging task. I would say debugging computers, it's much easier than debugging people because human problems are really hard to solve. I mean, it's interesting, of course, but still communication, how to explain, how to move forward, how one goal, align goal, it's really tough. Like, I didn't know that. I mean, kind of knew, but running your own company and seeing everything grow from just 3 folks out of basement to company almost 30 people, it's huge difference. It makes every detail different. Some things you kind of don't predict, some you don't like, some you like. So, but that's we don't have time to discuss all that. But how to have a good team, that's really, really essential. Because if you take away all the product, this team can build maybe like 10 different products, basically. Like, this is the feeling you need to have with your founder, your colleague. If you don't have that feeling, then something is missing, basically. So by time you will usually people start to find a different workplace. That's how it is. At least that happened for me. And third one is growth, especially for startups. Like, we jump back to the definition in the beginning, that startup, basically, it's not a cafeteria, because cafeteria, okay, they can have bigger room or whatnot, but it's not exponential and scalable growth. So I really like this quote by Paul Graham, and he's the founder from Y Combinator. It's one of the biggest accelerator in US. And he has said that startup is a company designed to grow fast, like basically extremely fast. And it means that being newly founded does not in itself make a company a startup. So it's when you found a company, it's not a startup yet, basically. And nor is it necessary for a startup to work on technology or take venture funding, which is kind of now booming. Oh yeah, venture funding, dollar bill. Or you have to have some kind of sort of exit. The only essential thing is growth. So basically, that what investors or even when you are growing the company, you need to care about. Otherwise, if you don't have growth, and growth, I mean not only money-wise, also technology, knowledge, all that is growth. That is knowledge. Sometimes it's even more essential than money, because money actually you can get. It's quite easy to get money. If you have a good team, you always will get money from investors. There are so many rich people, maybe not in Baltics, but outside, and also in Baltics as well, who are actually throwing money at just ideas to get more money. But to have growth, that's like indication that you have something. So to get to that, it's really tough. And growth, I mean scalable. So every month, not just 1 month before Christmas, you have growth, and that's it. The rest of the year, you don't have anything that, then it's not a growth, basically. And growth as well. What numbers I'm talking about? It's not like 2% or something. Basically, it's 20% and more every month. So either it's revenue or users, it's how you count, but there should be growth. So for instance, Instagram, there's no kind of revenue, at least wasn't, now it is. It was a user count. Some other companies, it was revenue. Some other, I know, activations, so how you count. But basically, that's the driver and indication that you have something there. And there are a couple of key learnings I want to tell in last minutes what I have. So first one, what I learned was to say no. So in the beginning, remember the resellers, all that stuff. Oh, yes, let's do it. This, okay, let's do it. But actually, I learned that when you have 10 things, you need to say no to 9 and do one thing. But which is the right one? No one can tell. You need to kind of test or have feeling or like that. But basically, you need to say no. You need to say no to, like, I know, even events or such things if you want to succeed. So it's, I mean, I'm not telling that you need to do it. It's just my learning doing that. So definitely in the beginning I said too many yes for kind of pointless things. And maybe you know, but there is a good book about this. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Sorry for this word, but that's the title of the book. And it's really, really a good book explaining where you are giving your fucks, basically. Because you don't need to give a fuck for everything. You need to give a fuck for what you care about. And I really recommend this book. It's really good. And now the second book came out as well, which is different scope book. It's called the book about hope. Not everything is fucked. So that's the second book by the same author. Maybe you know Mark Manson. So that's the author of the book. Really good books. I can recommend to understand. I mean, it depends for you what you care about and what you are interested in. So I'm not here to how to say judge or anything. I can just listen. But understanding what you care about, it's easier. Then you know that these 9 things, I know you don't want to go a party tonight because you want to learn maybe new skill. Maybe you want to go party because actually partying you can get a job offer. That happens actually. I know folks, they went to Silicon Valley, they partied and they met product managers from Google and got a really nice job offer. So you never know what happens. So that's why I'm not judging any kind of things. So you need to understand what's good for you, or at least try. And things can change as well. So many things change for me. And next one, it's I explain a bit as well, talking with clients. So here is just a recent picture. My team members in the middle went to Brazil to meet one of the biggest ride-sharing company in Brazil. And talking with clients will show the light where you need to move, what you need to build, maybe what you don't need to build. And also clients can lead you, sadly, in a corner as well, because they say, I want this everything, and you start building, and then you understand why they're not using what you just built. You spent like half a year, and they're not using. So there are always consequences. But talking with potential clients, it's really essential, and that's one of the actually one thing. If I would tell. I would have done differently, because we didn't go to the potential clients. Imagine 3 geeks really scared, talking with people like, no, let's just sit in the basement and code, because that's easier. That's what we know. We don't know how to go and talk with clients, but you can learn, or you can push yourself. So yes, this pushing part is quite essential, learning new skills. Yes, but at some point. But with hiring as well, I learned also that no one will come and do the work for you. They generally care about company, all that stuff, but they will not do the work. You need to explain what they need to do. It's not a silver bullet. Or you hire, I know, freelancer. Freelancers care about just getting paid, basically. I mean, generally they care about company, and it's not that bad. But still, you need to explain. You need to do this. As if you are involved in the company, of course, you don't need to do everything. Now as well, I'm not doing everything anymore, because we have hired more smarter people than me do like marketing. I don't know that much about marketing myself. But of course, you need to explain what do you want, or at least what are the expectations. So yeah, but getting good people, it's tough as well. But yeah, that's really good, good question or remark. And third one, what kind of I'm always. It's hard for me as well to get the right focus, because there are so many things which you can lose focus. I have lost focus, and so many things that you need to say no. But the focus, what you care about, I think is the most important thing. Not only running a startup, but also in studying, in life, and so forth. So it's much easier to dedicate time to one thing and do it properly than do 10 things or 5 things. Kind of human brain is not good with multitasking. It's not computer with multi-cores. It's not people can tell, yeah, I'm good multitasker, but the outcome usually is not the best if you just dedicate to one problem or one solution. That's how it is. At least for me it is. And then there is one more thing before we wrap up. Running the company, I kind of managed to lose almost 25 kilograms. So I think it's good for health as well. So that was when I started, and that's a picture, quite recent one. So yeah, I lost some hair as well. So I know it kind of happened, stress and all that stuff. But yeah, and that's it from me today. And if you have any questions, then ask right away, or here are my contact details, so you can learn more what I'm doing. So it's kristaps.me, easy website, and or Twitter. I'm active with Twitter as well, so you can ask these questions. So maybe you're too scared now, then ask digitally.
I'm just wondering, like, how long a startup is a startup? Because, like, well, you still consider your company a startup, even though you are like
because we haven't reached that growth what I mentioned. So definitely we can feel, oh, we're not a startup, but we are a startup. We're not there. And then I would say startup kind of is not a startup anymore when you like manage to get exit, I would say, or IPO or these kind of things maybe. And then usually what it happens, then founders leave and they create new startups. That's the usual case. So people are still figuring out like definition, but yeah, I really like how Steve Blank puts it, and I recommend his books for like business management and all that stuff. So it's really good. But don't just read one book and trust blindly. Don't do that either. It's not good way. So, any other questions? Or something you want to hear more, or yeah.
Es gribēju vienkārši komentēt, ka startup uzņēmums dažādos veidos mēs varam iedalīt. Un Latvijā ir jaunu uzņēmumu atbalsta likums, kur startup uzņēmums, jeb jaunu uzņēmumu kategorijā ietilpst uzņēmumu, kuriem ir 3 pazīmes. Pirmkārt, produktam jābūt inovatīvam un arī reģistrētām autortiesībām, ja iespējams, vai licencē. Otrā pozīcija, vismaz 70% darbinieku jābūt ar maģistra vai doktora grādu. Tātad šeit mēs jūtam, ka uz to startup uzņēmumu vairāk ir, ka viņš ir inovatīvs uzņēmums, nevis, ka viņš dzīvo īsu brīdi kā jauniņais, un pēc tam mēs viņu uzskatām kā veco. Un trešais kritērijs ir, ka 50% no izdevumiem mums tiek novirzīti attīstībai. Un līdz ar to, ja pēc šīm pazīmēm mēs klasificējamies, tad mēs Latvijā saņemam nodokļu atvieglojumus. Kā ir jūsu uzņēmumam?
Es sakoju, ka... okay, I can switch to English. Basically, the discussion was about this startup, how to say, tax reductions in Latvia. So you need to fulfill 3 criteria. First was have a master degree, then innovative, and then large chunk needs to go to expenses to innovation. I have followed. I know actually people who made this thing, and I generally actually don't like this thing, because first of all, have master's degree. I mean, I'm not telling that education is bad. Don't get me wrong, but still, I think it shouldn't be a criteria. Apple. Steve Jobs, like he was dropout. Many other folks, so they couldn't qualify, for instance. Okay, that's one thing. Then about this innovation, yeah, that I agree. Definitely, there should be innovation, but how it's stated, I think it's quite stressed too much, because you need to explore this one idea. How can you innovate if you are exploring this idea? So, and actually this is the result why I think there is one applicant for this startup thing in Latvia. It's kind of sad because no one can qualify. So I think this rule or how to make this tax pass is honestly, I think it's a bit stupid. So when I worked together with the Start in Latvia folks, and it was good, but how it turned out, I mean, now we see clients are startups, we see just one company applied. So something is not right there. So country as a provider and we as a clients, there was kind of not match. Then I think it should be rethought. So yeah, I'm not following every small detail, but I don't kind of like this. But I definitely want that it's kind of really pushing. What I have seen in Estonia, living these many years, it's like day and night. Every second week, startup company founders are going to the not to the parliament, but the seatings, and they're discussing all these problems. And right away they see, okay, we need this immediate feedback. I would say it should be here as well, this immediate. So then it wouldn't be that 2 years this kind of rule would be in work, and then it's something like no one cares. So I think we need to put our kind of pride away and just go and learn more, even from our neighbors, just kind of 100 kilometers away, basically. And there is so much to learn. So I'm not telling that in Estonia roads are made of gold. It's definitely not the case. There are many problems as well. But still, there are some things we can learn. But to how say, move something for these innovations and all that, new companies, should be more, I think. Like the intention is good. So I hope now actually they're making new tax. I think Start in Latvia, they are involved. So let's hope they can succeed, because attīstība par is more towards that. So I know folks are working pretty hard there. So I'm not following that much, but definitely talking about that, that's already one big, huge step. But discussion is always good to kind of, but yeah, I generally don't agree with the current situation. But yeah, the discussion is, I have seen discussions about this topic is quite tough, especially from startup founders towards the politicians. Any other questions? Oh, thanks.